Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Once Upon a Dad podcast, episode 5. Damn, I can't believe we have 5 episodes already, man. That is crazy. But I will say that I have delivered on my promise today, and I have my very first guest. I'm so excited about this, y'all. This is a guy who I have been waiting to do this podcast with since it's been a thing. Even before it was a thing, I've been talking about doing this for years, and I think I told you guys about this already. And this is a guy who I reached out to. I've been following him and his daughter on TikTok. They are so positive and uplifting, and their page is very educational regarding the deaf community. So, without further ado, here is my interview with TJ. And here we are with my man TJ. TJ, welcome to the show.
Welcome. Thanks for having me. Not welcome.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you. So you are my very first guest for Once Upon a Dad podcast.
This is my very first podcast, so it works for both of us.
Yes. Look at us both being podcast versions, kind of. And it's so cool, man, because I remember we talked about this years ago, and I think the only time we've never even met officially in person.
Yeah.
The only time we talked about this was we were on TikTok Live, I think, one time. And I mentioned to you that I was
3
thinking
years
about
ago,
doing this. Yep. And here we are. Finally got some things coming to fruition. I love that for us.
Doing it.
So for the folks who don't know about you, tell us a little bit about yourself, maybe your name, where you're from, and
So my name is TJ. I live in Florida, born in Alaska, 2 totally different places.
opposite end of the world.
And like you said, we met on TikTok. I have a deaf daughter. We make deaf awareness videos, but try to make it fun and exciting and learning a little bit at the same time.
Yes, I think you guys do a hell of a job at that, man. That's honestly how I found you guys was in the midst of COVID. I was, at home bored like the rest of the world, and you guys popped up, and I was like, these guys are so adorable. And not only are you guys making cute, relatable content, but it's also educational. Like you said, you're teaching, about different things in the deaf community, and what better person to learn from than Kylee, a child who we've kind of seen, grow up through social media, and we've gotten, snippets of her life and your life as well. And, how you guys navigate that, because in the deaf community, everyone has a different opinion about everything.
Yeah,
and
different for everybody. Yeah, it's not everyone's the same.
Yeah. So it's so cool, man. So we'll dive into that more about, how the deafness plays a part in your life, and, things that you may have to do differently for Kylee than other fathers may have to do for their hearing child. But this is so cool. So, okay, so Kylie's deaf. Let's start from the beginning, man. Your wife's pregnant. You find out she's deaf. When do you find out she's deaf? How do you find out? And what is your initial reactions?
Kylee was born deaf, but she also has some other health issues. So she was in the hospital for 3 months. And around the 3-month, the nurse came in, dropped something on the floor. We got scared, but Kylee never moved. She didn't react, cry, or anything. And we all thought that was super weird. So she told the doctor. They did a hearing test, which we're like, didn't they do that before? But we're like, whatever, there's everything going on.
Yeah.
No.
The nurse, did she drop, like, is it in the doc? Like, you guys are at the doctor's office, and
So no, she was still in the NICU. So it was like she had her own little room, and she came in to like drop diapers or whatever we needed. And it scared us, but Kylie didn't move.
Oh, so it was like a loud boom. Oh, crap. Okay.
Yeah. So she told the doctor. They did another hearing test. Well, it might have been the first one. We're not really sure, but whatever. And then we they're like, yeah, she didn't pass it. So they gave us to a doctor to see if like tubes would work, because like there just might be fluid in her ears. We're not really sure.
So what tubes will work? Could you explain a little bit, like what would the tubes have done?
So the tubes, they just said there might have been fluid in her ear, so the tubes would like kind of release that fluid.
Oh, and drain it. Okay.
And then like she would be able to hear. That didn't work, obviously. So when that didn't work, the doctor was like, they just handed us a whole bunch of books, like packets of like, hey, you have a deaf kid, figure it out, kind of. We're like, oh, okay.
That's so hard, man. It's hard to learn from a book. This is a real life situation.
And we're like, what do we do? Because I don't know anything about deafness. So the one was like, go see a doctor for a cochlear implant. And we're like, what is that? I didn't know what it was. So we went and saw him, and at this time she was 1.5, and he was like, your daughter qualifies for one, but do you want to do it? And we're like, yeah, if that's what you think. And so we did it, and and we were like iffy. We're back and forth because it's a huge. We read everything. It was a huge surgery, and we didn't know. And the doctor told us that did it was like, "Are you willing to learn a sign language for the rest of your life for your daughter, or do you want this to like help her, you know, be in the hearing world?" And at that time, I didn't know any sign language. I didn't know anything about the deaf community. So just like, yeah, let's do it. I don't know any sign language. I'm scared. I just want my daughter to be able to, be in the world. So we did that.
Yeah, that sucks, man. Sorry to cut you off. That the doctor put you in that dilemma. Like, do you want to learn sign language for the rest of your life, or do you want to function in the real? Like, that's such a crazy way to put that out to someone, because it's not that black and white. Either you have to sign or you function in the deaf world, and they can't intertwine that. Oh, that pisses me off. But go ahead.
But yeah, but see, that's the thing is now that I understand more about the deaf community, like I get it. I but before I was like, no, I just want my daughter to be okay. But now I'm like, my daughter would have been fine without implants. You know what I mean? So, but I would never change it. She loves her implants. She loves taking them off and being in her little deaf world. She loves being in the hearing world. So I wouldn't change anything. I would have just maybe, if it was someone else, I would have like told them, hey, this, be ready, do this, ask questions. And that's what I tell people now is like when they say, oh, I'm scared for my kid to get an implant, just ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask.
Yes, absolutely. I think that's such great advice, man. So for those of you guys who don't know out there in the deaf community, there are, I want to say, two schools of thought, but I feel like there's a trillion different opinions on the subject about a cochlear implant. So a cochlear implant, actually, TJ, could you could probably explain it better than I can. What is a cochlear implant and what does that mean for a deaf person?
So a lot of people think that it's like a microphone like in their brain. A lot of people think that it's in like surgically implanted in their brain, which is not. It literally just right underneath the scalp. And it goes into the cochlea, which is the part of the ear that makes you hear.
Yep, where it gets the name cochlear implant.
Yeah, exactly. And then that part is that's just the processor. And then I mean that's the implant. And then the part that goes around the ear is the processor. And then the magnet is the thing that's connects to the cochlear to the processor.
Gotcha. Okay. So that
It's
is
really it's confusing, but it's not confusing.
And not confusing. And probably
Yeah.
for people hearing this for the first time, it sounds like gobbledygook. But for those of us who've been around deaf people, we've seen it, we've experienced it, we've no. So the two schools of thought is that deaf people, there's a group of deaf people who think that deaf kids should not get cochlear implants because ASL has its own community. The deaf community is a very real and vibrant thing, and they're saying why fix our children? There's nothing wrong with them. Yeah, they can't hear, but that doesn't mean that they're broken. They, as deaf people, do not see it as a disability. And just for a caveat out there, deaf people usually prefer the term deaf over hearing impaired. I'm hearing it a lot, especially in like legislation and things written down. I'm hearing hearing impaired, and it makes my skin crawl. It's one of those words that I put on my no list now.
Yeah, they feel like deaf is a bad word.
Yes, deaf is a bad word.
Yeah.
Hearing people think that deaf is a bad word when most deaf people prefer the term to be deaf. There's deaf.
Exactly.
There's also hard of hearing for those who have slight hearing loss. But just for those who want to be politically correct. And then, so that's the one school of thought. And then the other school of thought is deaf people saying give their child, or even hearing parents, give their child a cochlear implant as young as possible. As soon as you find out that your child is deaf at birth, when they do the hearing test, or if they're 3 months, however, whatever the case may be, because then they can be raised in the hearing world and be quote unquote okay, or be quote unquote accepted or seen as normal. And go ahead. You want to say something?
Yeah. So like I feel because when she got her implant, she was almost 2, and we were at the mall, and deaf people saw us, and they we knew, like, basic signs like milk, more, like, baby signs. So they saw us doing that, but then they saw her cochlear, and they got super mad, and they tried signing with us, but I didn't know enough. So they got more mad because they saw that I didn't know sign fluently,
Mm-hmm.
and boom. So now I can have a conversation with them just fine.
Beautiful.
But then on the other side, if I feel how do I say this without like pissing people off?
Do it. We live to
You,
piss people up now.
no, but like I feel like if you get it younger, speech will be better because they can hear themselves talk.
Absolutely.
Um, like we've met somebody that she got her implant when she was older
Yeah.
because she wanted the experience of hearing.
Now older as in teenage older,
She
adult
was,
older.
I think, 18
Okay.
when she got it. I don't want to say, I don't know how old she was,
Close enough.
but um, she just wanted to get it just so she could experience hearing.
Mhm.
And now she wears her cochlear all the time and she loves it.
Nice.
But she also can take it off and enjoy life as just like Kylee. Um, but see, with Kylee, her speech isn't the best,
Mm-hmm.
like some kids with cochlear implants, because she signs.
Yes.
That now there's kids with the cochlear implant that don't sign, and their speech is really good. And I'm not.
Absolutely.
That's not a bad thing.
Sure. Sure.
That's if
That's their
that's what
preference.
yeah, exactly. So it's kind of like,
It's so hard, man. And it's not, again, people think it's right or wrong. It's black and white. It's
it's
not.
whatever you want.
Yeah, you meet a deaf person that have a cochlear implant, they may talk, they may sign. We don't know. And if they speak, it's not fair to assume, oh, they have a cochlear implant, so they're not deaf anymore. No, they're 100% deaf. As soon as those cochlear implants come off, guess what? They're just like every other deaf person. They just choose their mode of communication to be oral. They want to speak. Vice
Mm-hmm.
versa, you have folks like Kylee who have their cochlear implant and maybe only sign. I know deaf people with cochlear implants who only sign and don't use their voice because they can hear it and they're so self-conscious about their deaf accent and don't want to speak. So everyone has their own thing. And
And it's funny because we literally just did a video because people are like, how does she talk
I think I just saw it.
and
Yep.
being
Yep.
deaf?
I
Yeah,
posted it yesterday. Yep.
and it's people like you can do whatever you want. Like and there's so many deaf people that don't talk because hearing people do make fun of their voice. They laugh at their voice or they're like, what? And Kylie's like, and that happens to Kylie all the time. But she's something else, man. She's I don't know.
Yeah, and it's so wild because you're right. And the deaf people who choose to talk, they know that people may not understand their voice. They know that they're gonna get said to or get those whats, and they're used to repeating themselves because that's the life that they chose to make. That they chose to live. And I think it's beautiful, man, and I think it's great because that's the way that they choose to navigate the world. Just the way some deaf people
It's
choose
like
to navigate the world, only signing.
you just got to be confident with it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like Kylie is like people say stuff to me, like make fun of my voice, but I don't care. I love talking, and trust me, she loves talking. She can't shut her up. I swear.
I love it, man. And that's so beautiful. And especially, I love the fact that you as a father, you've always, at least from what we see, obviously, we can't see what you do at home, but what we can see on social media. But I mean, even then, most
Pretty
dads
much the
can't
same.
even show this on social media, but you've always embraced who she is as a human, not only as a daughter, but just as a human. Kylee, you want to sign? Cool, great, sign. You want to take a break and take your cochlear off? Cool, do that. Not forcing her to do certain things and allowing her to experience the culture in her own way. And that's so great because I feel like certain people feel obligated to lean more towards the deaf side or lean more towards the hearing side, where as opposed to you guys, you're letting her do the choosing. You're exposing her to ASL, you're exposing her to the hearing world, and now let's see which path she chooses. I think as a father, that's so huge because most women go through this world having a man telling them what to do when in fact, they can do shit way better than us. They're way more likely to, make a more informed decision
I think that's the thing with Kylie is I just whatever she wants to do is what she wants to do. Like she wants to go this way, I'll go that way with her. She wants to go this way and wants me to go that way. I'll go that way. You can go that way too. That's fine.
Yes.
But I mean, yeah, she's something. I don't
Something
know.
else. Yep. As all of our girls are.
Yeah, she's something.
Man, so again, another thing that I want to applaud you for is the fact that you are learning sign. I want to say learned because we all still continue to learn.
Yeah.
But the fact that you are learning sign is huge. It's such a big deal, man, because I can't tell you, there's a percentage of deaf children with hearing parents, the percentage of hearing parents who sign for them, I don't quote me on this, but I feel like it's around the 20%.
It's like 80. I think the last time I looked, it might be different now. It was like 87%. Yeah.
Don't sign with their children.
Don't sign.
Yes,
Correct.
yes. So hearing parents don't sign with their
And
children.
it sucks because, like we said, hearing parents get cochlear implants for their kids younger, but I feel like it's happening more recently. Like kids are born deaf, like cochlear implants are just getting pushed towards them.
Yes, yes.
And I'm not. That's your life. That's what you want to do. But I feel like the ASL part is going away with it.
Yes, yes.
And I'm like, and you don't have to be fluent. I can tell you right now, I will probably never be as fluent as I want to be, just because I don't use it as much outside of my house as I probably should. But the thing with Kylie too is this year she's in a hearing school. I mean, she's in a hearing class.
Okay.
So there's only, well, we say mainstream, but it's a hearing class. So it's only her and one other deaf kid. So this year she's like, I want to talk more because she wants the hearing kids, she wants to be like part of that group.
Sure.
And I had to talk with her. I was like, you're deaf. You don't, she's like, I know, I'm proud to be deaf. But I don't want her to stop signing. And she's like, I'm not. I have my deaf friends. I'm fine.
Good.
And I can see it, she is. But she gets more excited when she comes home and says, hey, the hearing kids understood my voice today.
Such a big win.
And there's one girl in her class that is learning sign language for her. And I'm not going to cry, I promise. But
do it. I'll cry with you, dude. Shit, this is a safe space.
But she was FaceTiming her, and she has the captions on. So when her friends talk, so when the friends talk to her, she can see the words.
Forgot that was a thing. Yeah.
Yeah. But we looked over at her phone, and the little girl was signing with Kylie, and she's a hearing girl, and Dinah just started crying.
That's adorable.
If anyone doesn't know, Dinah's my wife. She's not in videos, but she's there.
Of course.
But yeah, she was crying, and I was like, and then today she came home and said, I taught her how to say, how are you? All this stuff. And I feel like if you have one friend in your life that learns sign language, then that's going to be your friend for life.
Huge. It opens up so many doors. Yeah. It opens up so many doors for Kylie, knowing that this happened to me just now. How many times can this happen again? How many friends can I make and teach? It gives them hope to let them know I'm not going to be alone, or I don't just only have to have hearing or deaf friends. I can have hearing friends too.
Yeah. I think that's the thing too, is like she has the hearing friends, she has the deaf friends.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm doing best of both worlds, just like cochlear, no cochlear. So
she's a regular Hannah Montana over here. Living in both sides of the pond. That's so cool.
The deaf Hannah Montana.
Yeah, exactly. It's actually a perfect label for Kylie. I could totally see her being on stage singing. Yeah, and that's so cool. Like even for her friend too, who's learning, like she's gonna grow up now and have that soft heart for deaf people. We call it deaf heart is when a hearing person has the love and compassion and all of that for the deaf community, not just, oh, you poor deaf people, I have to help you do this, or no, it's I know who you are. You're my equal. You're my peer in this world. We navigate this together. We just navigate it differently. And I love
Yeah.
that, and how can I be an ally? How can I be here to support you? And we support one another, and I think that's so cool, man. So it's great for Kylee, and it's great for the friend, and it's so fun, man. So for
Yeah.
you, going back to parents signing, how are you learning signs, or how did you begin? Because I know there's deaf people
So
who have kids and don't know where to start.
I learned like baby signs. I went on YouTube. There's like this old videos like signing time with Laura. Do you remember that?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
before Miss
That
Rachel. Yeah, for sure.
yeah. So that's where that was the first videos I saw. And then baby signs. And then we had a woman come over from the county, and she works for the deaf, and she did baby signs here at the house before she went to school.
Oh, cool.
So she taught us like, milk, the basic signs before she went to school. And then Kylie went to school. She came home with the list of words that she had to practice signing. So it was kind of like my homework and her homework. So we all learned that together. And then the more I watched her, the more I learned, because when she starts learning, she's gone.
They learn so
And
fast, so much faster than we do.
yeah, and now I'm playing catch up with her because there's times where I have no idea what she's signing.
Which is so scary, man, because it's like how I want to know the full language that my baby's talking. What if she says something and I miss it and it's
Yeah.
important, or what if she talking shit and I need to hear it too or catch it too? And
Well, that's weird because when she, I think it started the end of third grade, she started learning bad words from school, because in her school, the deaf side they're all together.
oh, so
They're
there's a
all
deaf
like,
side of the school.
so there's a deaf program and then the mainstream of the school.
Oh,
Now,
cool.
sometimes some of the classes like blend together. Like the deaf kids will go over to science in the mainstream and learn science over there, but they have an interpreter, so it's not like just go over there and learn.
Sure.
Um, but yeah, she came home one day and she knew that this was poop, but she said, "No, this is shit." I was like, "How- that's it's poop. Don't say that." And then the one that got us was she came home and said, "Damn it, I I had we don't say like obviously we use bad words, but like I don't say them around Kylie because I don't want her to learn the word before she learns it in sign." So so I'm like, she came home and just, damn it. And I'm like, oh my God.
You probably like, damn it, where did you learn that from?
Yeah. But yeah, I feel like now I'm just trying to play catch up or trying to learn some of the bad words before she does. Because like her best friend said mother effer, and she's like, do you want to know what the sign is for it? I was like, well, yeah. And I'm not gonna lie, it's a pretty easy, fun sign. Like, yeah. I mean, it makes sense. It's one of those signs that just makes sense.
And I love those. I love the signs that make
And
sense.
but it's funny because when we go out somewhere and something happens, she goes like this, and that's that's the sign for it, but she doesn't do it. So she just goes like this, and I'm like, I know what she's saying, but I'm like, okay. So she has like her home signs.
That's so that's something that I just recently started to experience myself, cursing with kids. And I guess let me get your take on it. How do you feel about, because Kylie, how old is she?
She's 11.
11. So how do you feel? So Marley's 6, and she just cussed the other. They're all cussing. And again, I'm no saint. I do say cuss words, and some of the shit that they
I
say, as soon as they say it, I'm like, well, that came straight from my mouth, and
Yeah,
there's nothing I can do about it.
I think she she cusses,
Mhm.
and we're okay with it, but she knows not to cuss on social media
Oh, okay.
because there's so many kids that know us and follow us on social media and learn from Kylie.
Yes.
We don't want to show like
You don't want
those
someone
kind of
else's kid learning a cuss word
yeah
from Kylie being the first
yeah.
person to teach it, for sure. For sure.
But I mean, at the same time, it's like there's other people on social media that show the bad word. So, but they're also older,
Yeah.
and if that's what they want to do, that's fine.
Yeah.
But the thing is, too, is she's learning more songs in sign language. So I'm like, just do it. Like you're fine.
Yeah.
And her best friend is black,
Oh yeah,
and
we talked about
the
this.
yeah, we talked about this earlier.
Yeah.
But her best friend's black,
Mm-hmm.
and the N word is going to get brought up
Yep.
one day.
Mm-hmm.
It hasn't yet. It hasn't been even mentioned. She doesn't know anything about it. But I know one day that she's going to learn that sign. And I was like, I was talking to Diana about it the other, not the other day, but a while ago. What do we do? And we saw it on we saw it someone's TikTok. We saw it, and I was like, oh
You saw
man,
it as in like a deaf person signed it, like you saw how to
yeah,
sign it. Okay.
yeah. And I was like, oh. And I'm like, okay, Dino, we have to learn it. We have to know it just so when she comes home, hey, can't use that word. Don't say that word. And even though her best friend might say that word, you can't say it. And we're ready for that day to happen, but we also are like not ready for that day. You know what
Sure.
I mean?
Yeah. How can is anybody ready for that day? And I think it's so cool and important to explain to her like the history of the word, of why it was used, how that was used as a derogatory term to hold
Hmm.
black people down. And now they've taken that word and they changed it and made it to something more positive, a positive colloquialism, if you will. So it's
But
something
it's
that
like
they have the right to use.
you have to go through that one day in your life when they like someone says it to them, and it's like, damn, man, like
Yep.
sucks.
It sucks, dude. It does. It sucks. And she even has that. So Kylie may experience that with hearing impaired. Someone's gonna call her that. Someone's
Hmm.
gonna label her as that, and it'll prepare her to be ready to stand up for herself and say, "No, thank you. We don't like that. This is what we prefer." And it's cool, and it's a learning. It's a learning curve, but it's so great that you and your wife are preparing for that moment because, like you said, she has a black friend, so 100% it's gonna come up.
You have to be ahead of the game. Yeah.
Yep, ready for it. And I don't even think now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think I've told my girls about it or if they even heard it. They heard Marley wanted to listen to a song the other day. What was it? It was something I was listening to in the car and she was jamming in the back. It was Kanye and Jay-Z, What You Need, I think is what the song.
Okay.
I got what you need.
Hmm.
And the vocals in the beginning Harley loved it. And so she was like, "Can you play this song?" And then Kanye started off with LOL, white
Hmm.
America. So she thought he was saying LOL, like LOL dolls. And now she really loves the song. And Jay-Z says something in the middle of it, like, "What's up, motherfuckers? Can I something?" And Marley's back there jamming to it. And I'm like, oh.
I do
I
that.
couldn't find a
I did
clean
the same thing
version.
with Lil Jon. I had Lil Jon because Kylie loves like bass, so like I had Lil Jon playing, but she grabs my phone and like how you can go to the lyrics of the song.
Yeah.
So she's sitting there and she's like, and I'm like, oh my God. But she's signing every word, and I can't get mad at her because I'm like,
It's my
you're
fault.
learning.
Yep.
You're learning, yeah.
Hey, if you can read, you can read. Shit, I'm proud of just that aspect.
Yeah.
Man, that's kids are so freaking cool, man, and I love it. So how going back to the deafness thing with Kylie real quick, how do you see being deaf now? I know some folks see deafness as a disability and some don't. Where do you fall
That's
in that spectrum?
that's so tricky too because at the end of the day, it is a disability, but we try not to. I don't want to say like treat her like she's a deaf girl because at the end of the day, I would treat her the same way if she was hearing. Um, but I just treat her like she's my daughter. You know what I mean? Like she's deaf, but she's still a pain in my ass every
Yeah.
day. Like,
Yeah, and that's so valid, dude. And I feel like deafness is definitely a culture, so it's its own culture, it has its own language, it has its own people. They've established communities. There's an entire deaf college, Gallaudet out in Washington DC, and there's so many. So it's 100% a culture. And then I also understand the aspect that it is a disability because they are at a significant disadvantage of other hearing folks in the world when they go places, when they go to school. Most of them need interpreters. Most of them need cart services. Cart
Mm,
is caption in real time captioning. So they need accommodations because of that. So in that aspect of it, in the eyes of the health system, sure, label them as deaf. But just because they have that quote unquote disability doesn't mean that they are less than. And
yeah, yeah.
so many deaf people start off at a disadvantage because they, not only are they deaf, but they come from, poverty. Now they're in a poor house. Now they don't have the privilege to do certain things. They can't afford interpreters to go see a play, so they're missing out on that culture. They can't afford to go and drive and be in a deaf community where other deaf people are, so a lot of these things compile them on top of each other,
And I
man.
think like because of social media, like Kylie's not the only deaf kid on social media. Um, I want to say
She's
like
the cutest
she,
though. No, no.
I want to say she's the sassiest.
Just sassy, yeah.
But I want to say like Kylie kind of, I don't want to say paved the way for other deaf kids,
Oh yeah.
but I think she has made other deaf kids feel more not even kids, like adults, like feel more confident and like about themselves and hey, I got this. I can use my voice. I can do, whatever. And we get messages all the time like, hey, I just want to let you know, like, I'm 56 years old and I finally found my voice and it's because of Kylie. And I'm like,
Wow. That's
we
beautiful.
went to a one deaf event and somebody said that she's because Kylie's half Mexican, but they said that she is the deaf Selena. And we're
Ooh.
like, I was like, well, I hope it doesn't end up like that. But thank you.
Right.
Like, it's just, but I think because of social media and Kylie, there's so much other like technology, like they have those glasses with the captions now.
Yes.
Those are so weird, by the way. We went to California to do a movie for Kylie, and the director was deaf, and it's Chrissy can't hear you. I don't know if you've seen her.
What's her name?
Chrissy can't hear you.
Because he can't hear you. No, no. I think you
She's
told me
like
about it, but no.
blonde. Yeah, but she had the glasses, and I tried them on. I did not like them because I'm like trying to focus on the words and not the people. And I was like, how do you guys do this?
It's
Because like there's times where I try to understand their world and I try reading the cap. I'm not gonna lie, there's more times I read the captions while watching a movie or TV now that I do more than I watch the show.
absolutely, dude. I cannot watch TV without captions. I'm like, I
I can't
can't I
even.
can't understand. I don't know what you're saying. I need
Yeah,
captions on here.
I read the captions more than anything now.
100% of the
Um,
time.
but
But
yeah,
yeah,
there's those glasses. I was like, I'm trying to focus on you, but you look down, so it looks like you're not even looking at them.
yep.
And I was like, I don't like this. She's like, well, this is what we have. And I was like, oh, okay, I get it, get it.
Yep. And it's so great because, it's cool for them, and it works for them. And like this, so I haven't had those glasses, which those glasses are crazy hard because not only are they trying to catch the dialogue, of the person that they're talking to, if they're in a big space, it's catching dialogue from everyone. So those captions may be from, somebody over there is talking about some strawberries and catering, where as opposed to you're trying to talk to the person in front of you, so that aspect is wild. And I have no idea how that even began to work.
There's like settings that you can do where you can it gets, yeah,
This is
you
super
can
complicated.
take out the background noise and only focus on noise in front of you. Yeah,
Dude, I'm like we're getting this much closer to Black Mirror every day that we go through life.
it's crazy.
I have been to movie theaters before with the glasses, so they're similar to what you explained, but you put on the glasses and the captions are coming through the bottom of them, so you're reading them as you're watching the TV at the same time, which is okay. It's great. It's a cool technique. The captions are not on the screen for those who don't want them. It's specific for that person. But so when I used to go with with the girl's mom, she she would have them, but she wore glasses. So she would have her regular seeing glasses and then put those caption glasses on top of them, and it was just convoluted. It was a mess. There's like this big battery pack that like hangs off of them. It's
Then they also have that thing that goes in the cup holder.
yes,
But I Kylie had to stop doing it because she would focus on the words but miss the movie.
Yep.
And so now there's a movie theater like 20 minutes away from her house that certain showings have the captions on there. So she's like, I just want to go to that one. We're like,
Love
I'm
it.
fine with that.
Yes, and those are so I just learned the difference between these. So the difference between open caption and closed caption. So open caption, yes, is
Yeah.
when they're always on, no matter what. Closed
Hmm.
captions can be controlled, turn on and turn off. So I
Uh-huh.
love going to movies. So if you do want to check in your area, guys, check for a theater with open caption, not closed caption. So open caption means they will be on the screen for everyone who goes to the movie to see. You don't need
And it's funny because more hearing people like captions than you think they
Oh
do.
hell yeah, hell yeah, dude! That was one of my. I had a business model idea, which probably wouldn't work. I don't know, but I wanted to make this theater where all the movies had captions. Like every movie that you went to had captions. I I feel like most people benefit from them, but I also know there's a group of people who absolutely hate captions. I remember before being in the deaf community, I hated captions, and you know why? This is just blocking the TV, blocking somebody's face.
Yeah.
But yeah, that I don't know if that would have worked out, but it was just a cool idea that I had because I hate going to the movie theaters and not having captions.
Yeah, no, I feel like there's more hearing people that want captions or would use captions more than wouldn't use captions.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep,
I feel
absolutely.
that.
I know I would. I'm living proof of
Yeah.
that. So speaking of movies, Kylie was cast in a movie, almost cast in a movie. Could you talk about that
So
and how that came about?
she has been she was in one movie,
Okay,
um, but it didn't go through, but she was still in it.
okay,
That's the one we went to California for, but it didn't work out the way that the director wanted, but she was still in it.
which is
And
amazing. More than we could say for over half of the
so
world.
that was like her first short film, and then we just did another one, I think 2 months ago, and it was like literally just she just walked in the bathroom and signed. I forget what she signed, but it was like literally this.
That's okay. When and what was that? Can we find that? Is that one available and out?
It's not out yet,
Not
but
out
I
yet.
will let you know when it is.
Beautiful. I love that. So fans, we'll keep you guys posted. We'll come back and post the short film when it comes out.
Do you
That's
want to come say
excellent.
hi? Do you want to say hi?
Oh, she's gonna come and say hi to us. Let's go. Hi. How are
She's
you? Doing good? Good day at school? Yeah. we're getting little snippets of Kylie. She's too famous for us, guys. She's got hair and
she,
makeup to go to pretty soon.
but yeah, she did that. The first movie she that didn't go through. She was a deaf girl in hearing school,
Okay.
so it's kind of like today or this year.
Yeah.
Um, but she went to that in California, and the big thing was the she got bullied, and the one kid had to say call her a retard,
Oh
and
yeah.
we have never used that. That's one word like I can't stand. I don't like that word. I'd never. I It's just one word I just don't like.
Yep.
Um,
That's up there with hearing impaired for me with two words that I
yeah,
absolutely won't use. Absolutely.
yeah. Um, but we had to show her the sign, tell her what it meant, and go there and film this movie for. And she had to react to it. And we're like, how is she gonna react to a word that she's never been? So she did it. Um, when he said it, she started crying, and I was like, "Why? How was she crying?" But everyone behind me was crying because she was crying, but I wasn't crying because I'm like, she doesn't even know what this word means. How the hell is she crying? So after we were done, I asked her, "What made you cry?" And she's like, "I just thought about missing mom because Dinah didn't go with us. It was just me and her." So she's like, "I just miss mom." I was like, "You are an actress.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you literally didn't even do anything about mom, and you're crying because."
That's awesome, dude. And that's exactly what actors do. You ask an actor, how do they cry on set? And most of them say they think about the most painful thing that they can think of at the moment, and they let those emotions out. That's crazy.
I think for me, it's like everything I cry in is a movie with a dad. Because like I didn't have a relationship with mine, so like every time I see a movie with a dad in it, or like in a relationship with their kid, I'm like blowing my eyes out, and I'm like, why am I
Hits
crying?
home.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
because it hits home, dude, and it's so different, and that's so cool. So I'm starting to learn this the more I'm talking to folks. So like you just said, you didn't have a great relationship with your father. So how did that? So I'm deviating from the questions that we talked about before.
oh
But
no, you're
if you could
fine.
think about it a little bit, so
We're good.
how
We can get real.
does the relationship with your father affect the way you are a father to Kylie? Like,
So, like I said, I was born in Alaska. Uh, my mom and dad. My dad was an alcoholic and a drunk, or drug addict and an alcoholic. There we go. Um, we, my mom left Alaska when we were 7, came to Florida, um, and he called like I think twice to say, "Hey, I'm gonna move down there, be with you," blah blah blah. And then when I was 13, uh, I got off the bus, I got home, and there was a message on the messenger. I mean the what is it called?
voicemail, like, or
The thing
machine?
where back in
Yeah,
the day,
yeah.
yeah.
Damn, what
And
is
it
it?
was my grandma. Yeah, what was it called? Uh,
Answer machine.
yeah, that
Answer machine. Damn.
yeah, okay.
Proud of us. All
It
right,
was
cool.
gonna bother me.
Words.
Um, but it was my grandma saying, "Hey, uh, his name is Terry. But he's like, Terry just died. Want to let you know." And I was like, first of all, why are we saying this on answering machine? And I never listened to it. I always let my mom listen to it when I got home. So I don't know why I listened to it. So she got home. I was like, "Hey, Dad died." And so like, you know, but I mean, I didn't cry, no emotion, no nothing until like 2 weeks later after he was gone because everything just kind of hit me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But um, I think for me, because he never called, and I found out that my mom sent presents for my birthday and Christmas saying that they were from him, but they weren't really from him, they were from her.
Super
And
mom.
I found that out literally like 2 years ago.
Wow.
So I was kind of mad at my mom for that.
Sure.
Um, but yeah, I literally told myself after that, I was like, whenever I have kids, I'm gonna be a better dad than him.
Oh yeah.
And he died when he was 30, and I'm 40 now, so I'm doing something right.
Sure, for sure. Damn, that I
But
love that,
yeah,
man. I'm the same way. I 100% had a relationship with my dad. It wasn't always the best. He was always there without always being there. You know, if I'm like in and out of jail a lot. I wouldn't see him. He would choose to do other things. Drugs and alcohol were involved as well. So it was a lot of shit, but he was always there. If I knew where to find him, I could always go find him. And I always told myself the same thing. Like I look around at other people with their dad, and I'm like, I wish I had that. So I'm gonna give my babies the dad that I always wanted. And
yeah.
it's so different with girls because I'm like, shit, I can't be the dad that I always wanted because the dad I always wanted played football and wrestling and da da da. Can I do that with girls? Sure. Do I do that with my girls? Absolutely. It's a little different. So the dad that I thought I wanted to be, I feel like God said, haha, no, 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 here's girls. you know,
Well, see, I think that's the thing with Kylie is she she's literally a girly girl, hair, makeup, all this stuff. But then she'll want to watch like WWE. She's like, I want to watch wrestling. I want to do this, and she's the biggest Packers fan. She'll literally pull up her phone and be like, look at the stats, look at who would play, and I was like,
love it.
so she's literally like we said earlier, a little Hannah Montana. Like,
Yep, she can do both.
yeah, it's crazy.
That's beautiful, man. That's something I haven't quite seen in my girls yet. They don't see me, watch football or watch sports or do much. From the time I'm with them, it's always indulged in whatever it is that they want, and I'm inevitably pulled into watching Bluey and all the rest of the kids stuff. But I'm so excited to watch them grow up and get older and see what kind of things that I take interest in that affects them. I'm starting to notice music already, the different type of music I'm listening to. Like the girls are like, and we were listening to Michael Jackson the other day, and I hear Marley in the background. She was like, "Daddy, can we sing They Don't Really Care About Us?" And I was like, "Oh, That's a hell of a song. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, little things like that, but I'm excited to see, their personalities blossom into who it is
That's the
that they're
thing.
going to
I think
become.
Kylie didn't start watching wrestling until maybe 2 years ago, and it was because of Rhea Ripley.
Hell yeah.
And
Oh,
and I
she's
was
so
and I was
badass.
like, what is? I used to watch wrestling when I was a kid, but like I stopped because it
Yeah.
got weird.
Yep.
And so, but now she started watching it, so now I'm watching with her.
Yep.
And took her to our first wrestling event and fell in love, loved it. And then a week later, she got to meet Rhea Ripley
No
at
way.
a claw place that we went to. Yeah,
That's so cool.
we went to a random claw place in Tampa, and we walk in there. I was like trying to figure out how to pay for all this stuff, and she's like, "What?" And she's like, mommy's right there." And I was like, "Mom was at work," and she's like, "No, real." She's like trying to be so like quiet and chill,
Yeah, so
but
so for those
then
of you listeners who don't know, Rhea Ripley is a wrestler who goes by Mommy as like one of her stage
yeah,
names.
it's like mommy, yeah. But she saw Kylie, and then she was like, she gave her one of the stuffed animals that she won, and then Kylie's like, "Can I have a picture?" And I was like, "You got to ask her because same thing with people ask Kylie for a picture." I was like, I ask her. I don't always say like, "Yeah, sure, go ahead." Um,
That's awesome.
that's a weird subject too.
For
But
sure.
she said yeah, and then she signed her shoe. Like she was wearing black Converse with the white
Oh, yep.
tip, and
Mhm.
so she signed like the white rubber part, and she has it like hanging up in her room. She's like, "We need a new pair because I'm not wearing
I'm
these
never
again."
never wearing those
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
Ah, that's beautiful, man. Yeah, speaking of the weird shit, so growing up with, I mean, you essentially have a little child celebrity. I mean, whether we don't know there's a scale, but I would totally consider Kylie as a young celebrity. So how does that
I would
affect you
say a
guys, man?
local celebrity.
Local celebrity, yeah, which
Yeah,
isn't so local because I'm in Ohio and I
right.
know you.
I
So
mean,
you,
yeah,
yeah, but I mean, you guys have 5 million followers on TikTok, dude. That's huge. So that's 5 million eyes on you from all over the world.
it's crazy. I think that's the weirdest and coolest part is whenever we meet people, like when we go to Disney or wherever, people say, "Hey, I know you guys." We always ask them where they're from because it's crazy where people have seen our videos from. And it's not even like know you, it's just where have you seen our videos? But the crazy part is like people ask for pictures.
Hmm.
And usually when it's kids, I don't go in the picture. I let Kylie kind of do it because I'm like, ah, me and kids is weird. Um, so, but if it's an adult, I I usually kind of put Kylie in front of me and
Hmm.
they're on the other side just
Yeah,
to get that.
that very for sure.
Yeah.
Nice.
But a lot of people think that I do social media full time and I don't. So I have a like regular 40-hour a week, and sometimes people do recognize me when they come to my job. And I'm like, oh, but it's weird because
Do you work in the
I'm
public,
not.
like with people? You don't have to tell me where you work, but just like,
Yeah.
do you work in front of
So
a lot?
I work with people come in all the time.
Okay.
Like we're pretty big where we're at, but we have a lot of kids that come in there, so they know Kylie, they know me,
Mhm.
and sometimes they'll want a picture. And I don't say no because I don't want to be rude
Sure.
and I don't want people to like, but I'm also I'm not two different people, but I'm
Yeah,
two
yeah.
different people.
Oh,
Like
of course.
I'm a social media TJ and then I'm a real life, hey, I'm at my job TJ. Um, but I usually, because we have our logo on our shirt, so I usually try to put their head where the logo is and I have them stand like 3 feet ahead of me
Smart.
so I can't they can't say like, "Hey, he touched me" or something.
Yeah.
But the weird part is all of my employees will laugh because they know me as TJ, not social media, and they're like, they think it's the funniest thing.
That's so fun, man. Yep, I get the same thing too when we go out places. Now it doesn't happen so much anymore since I've been on TikTok for like 3 years now. But in the thick of it, when I mean, we wouldn't get a bunch of people, but just here and there, people walk up and my sisters would be like, "That's weird." Why people asking for your autographs? And I used to be a wrestler too, so I used to
Oh,
do
really?
like the WWE style wrestling. Yeah, it was a company here called NWF, the Northern Wrestling Federation here in Cincinnati. And we did the same kind of things, but I was a full blown character. So I was Calypso. I had to talk with a Jamaican accent, and all this crazy stuff. That was my
Like
persona.
little Kofi Kingston
Like
over
little
there?
Kofi, dude. I cannot tell you how many times I got called knockoff Kofi Kingston. I was like, well, he's not the only Jamaican wrestler. Okay, he's the only one I know too. But damn it, that compare me to somebody else.
It's
But
so weird because he really is Jamaican in real life, but he doesn't have that accent.
yes, exactly. Which is why he did it, so good for so long.
Yeah.
And it was so crazy that people would just come up and like ask me for my autograph, and I'm like, I work at McDonald's, but okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's just so fun to have that, like you said, that local stardom, and it's really fun, it's really crazy, but also really cool. And you're right, you have to be careful because, like you said, there's weirdos out there. So I know, like we were talking, like you don't say your last name, so no one knows, your last name,
Yeah.
and you do that
We
intentionally.
yeah, I think it's obviously there's weird people out there, they can find it if they want to, but
Yeah,
like for her, it's not even me anymore. It's like just for her. I just worry about her and what what happens to her.
yeah, same.
But like, what was it? We went to the Descendants Zombie tour. I don't know if you've heard of it,
Yeah, yeah,
the
zombies.
World
Hmm.
Tour thing.
Hmm.
We went to the one when it came in Tampa, and so many people were coming up to Kylie and like, I want a picture. And the people sitting next to us were like, who is she? Why are all
Yeah,
these people?
yeah.
And I think that's better than people knowing you is people that don't know who you are.
Yes, yes.
Because then they're like, what do you do?
What do you do? Yep.
And I think when we went there, we had the best interpreter.
Oh,
He
good. Hell yeah.
he learned he fell in love with that middle school and became an interpreter. And when I tell you his facial expressions and just everything when he was doing a song was like spot on.
Love it.
If he didn't talk, I would be like, you are deaf, deaf. 'Cause
Dude, that's the biggest compliment we can get, man. From as an interpreter, being on stage, I do theatrical interpreting as well. I've been up on stage for big shows. I've interpreted for like SZA and Jack Harlow, Janet Jackson, like bunch of like really cool people. And when we're on stage, we want to perform as well as the performers are. We're not there to take the eyes off the performers by any means. We're not there to steal the show.
it
It's
happens
very
though.
much there. It totally happens. Especially when the interpreter is good. And it's so cool to get the best compliment as a hearing person, or I'm sorry, as a deaf person coming up and saying you did a good job, because obviously we're here to do the job for them. So for them telling us you did great, that was beautiful, that's the best compliment we can ever get. But the second for me is a hearing person who knows sign language, whether you're an interpreter or like yourself, a parent of a deaf child, and come up and say, man, damn, you did a good job. Like I could hear the music, I could also see you, and you were in sync and you were matching. And that's something that can't be.
And I think that's the other thing too is when you're at an event and you see hearing people watching you more than they're watching the performer. Because I'm not gonna lie, I did the same thing at the concert. I was watching to see how many hearing people were watching our interpreters over the people on stage that they paid for.
Yep. It's so
It's
wild, man.
crazy.
It's so fun, and it's like, again, we're taught to, match the performer with intent, mood, and spirit without taking over the show, or without stepping over boundaries. But also, it's really cool just to know, like, once the show is over, especially like a play like theater, the cast will come out and they'll take a bow and they'll acknowledge the band and they'll acknowledge the light person, then they acknowledge the interpreters, and then the reaction that we get, how loud people are clapping. I'm like, oh, y'all were watching it. Okay, okay. This wasn't for nothing. So it
Yeah.
makes you feel like all your practice was worth it.
We just got invited to go to Goosebumps in some show here. I think it's like an hour in Orlando, but they're trying to get the deaf community more involved in theater over in their things. So obviously they're gonna ask Kylie to come. Um, but they're gonna have an interpreter there, and it's the first time they're ever having an interpreter. So
Oh, cool.
they, which is awesome. Like, so we told them, yeah, we'll go, but we want to meet the performers so she can teach them some sign. And the girl was like, we can make that happen. And I'm like, there we go.
Nice. That's so cool, man. So we were talking before. Because you guys get invited to do a bunch of different things for Kylee. So how do you guys manage all that? Are you managing all the emails and phone calls and texts that's coming through?
So Dinah, that's the thing with Dinah's like kind of like a background boss.
Nice.
She
She's the
she
wizard behind the
makes
curtain. And
yeah, but it got a lot for her. So we found a guy to be our like social media manager, and he goes through the emails, brand deals, all this stuff. And he's so chill. He's the best. Ty is the best manager ever.
Love it.
But
I'm gonna be
he
hitting you up,
literally
Ty,
will,
by the way.
yeah, he's the best. Um, but he literally will say, "Do you want to do this or not?" Say no, okay. And there's no pressure. Like you'll get some managers that, hey, you're gonna do this, do that. You're going here, you're going there. And we're like, because the one thing that we told him was, Kylie's gonna focus on school.
Yes.
Like this is not her life. This is so every deal that we do or trip or event, it gets planned around a vacation from school or, you know, summertime. Like that one movie that we did, it was a week before she went back to school. And we said, this is the only time that you have for us. And they're like, okay, let's do it.
Nice.
So yeah, I think it's just balancing the social media life with the real life. Because like I said, this isn't my full-time job. Like it just started off front, like you said, but we met during COVID and just like everybody was doing stuff and we just kind of made it into another little adventure.
Nice.
And that's what we're doing now.
Oh man, I love that. And you've told me that you guys have gotten to do so many cool things. You have to go to the White House, right?
Yep, we got to go to the White House for Easter. The egg roll, like a lot of people don't know what the egg roll is.
What is
I
the
didn't
egg
know what
roll?
it was either. It's literally you take an egg with a spoon and just go across the lawn of the White House.
Okay.
But while we were there, Gaudette's over there, so we're like, we're gonna make this into more than just going to the White House. So we went to Gaudette. We went to the Deaf Starbucks that's over there.
Cool. Oh, I heard that place is so dope.
And Kylie ordered our coffee for us, so that was pretty cool.
Nice.
But yeah, I think as long as she's having fun doing it, I'm gonna keep doing it until she tells me not to do it anymore.
Nice. And I love that, man. That's so beautiful because again, you're giving her the power. You're giving her the power. You're not making this about yourself. It's all about her and what it is that she wants to do and what's in her best interest, man. That's such a beautiful thing.
Like, I'm not a happy-go-lucky person in real life. I'm really quiet and shy.
Yep.
Until you get to know me, and then I don't shut up.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not like oh hey, how are you doing? Like yeah.
Sure.
That's Dinah. And see, a lot of people don't, unless you know us. She's the happy, outgoing, crazy one. I'm the quiet, shy. And I think that's a lot of people on social media is it's easier to make content in your house.
Oh yes.
You don't have to talk to anybody. You don't have to do anything. So a lot of content creators are actually really quiet and shy. They're introverts.
Yeah. And they force themselves to be. I hear like from a lot of these YouTubers. I think was it Speed? It might have been Speed who was like before he used to prefer to like be in just with his stuff, and now he's known as one of the biggest people. It may have not have been him, maybe someone else, but still, it's crazy. Yeah, just how and on a camera you can be whatever you want to be because there's no real eyes on you. So you can be whatever. Like people used to ask me to come out like, oh, do the skit from so and so. I can't do that. No, bro, it's weird. Like I didn't practice. I said 2 hours to practice these lines before. I got in front of the camera to do it. So it's a lot, man. But a lot of people don't see this side of us. Don't see us just talking as humans. Because you're right. From the social media, before I sat down and had a conversation with you, I totally would have thought that you're the more talkative one and she was the more quiet, shy one. Only because she wasn't on screen, so I just assumed that she was shy because she didn't want to be on camera.
You got to meet her, right? You've
yeah. I believe she was on. She was on that first live with us for a high second.
And she's happy, outgoing, but she hates being on social media. Can't stand it.
I get it. Totally.
There's times where like Kylie and I will be doing a video in a store, and she'll like be in the background and she'll run. She doesn't even want to be in the background. I'm like, whatever.
That's hilarious, man. It's crazy how opposites attract, they say, right?
Yeah.
Man. Well, dude, this is awesome, bro. We have been on here for an hour now. I don't want to hold you too much longer, but I do want to ask. So I want to make this a overlying theme, something that I do every week on the show. I like to ask dads, what is the best piece of advice that you can give for other girl dads out here, specific,
Girl dads.
or
Okay.
or dads in general?
Dads in general, yeah. I mean, it's kind of stupid. It's kind of simple. It's kind of goes back to what you said earlier, but just be there. You know, like not just physically, like emotionally, like be there for your kid, your daughter. There's a lot of times where I wish my dad would have talked to me about something, and I think that's one thing with Kylie is we are so open and honest with her. If something's wrong, don't hide it from your kids.
Yeah,
I think that's one thing too is a lot of parents, dads, moms, I think everybody does it nowadays is they baby their kids. Like they're not honest and open. We're so honest with Kylie. Like we told our teachers, hey, don't if she's not doing good, don't say she's doing good. Tell her she's not doing great at this you know.
yeah.
So just be there.
Be there. Be
I
there.
mean, it's stupid, simple.
No,
You know what I
no,
mean? But
it's not. Stupid is the very wrong word to use for that.
I mean,
It's
okay,
something. It's simple. Yeah, it's simple.
Yeah.
Simple concept, but it's not done. I mean, there's so many people who aren't there. There's so many, not only young girls without their father. You know, that's what we focus on the Once Upon a Dad podcast. But there's children out there who don't have dads present in their lives, or if they do, they're not really present. You know, just giving them a phone call every now and again, or sending them money to buy some new school clothes. That's not going to cut it. You know, being there when they're crying, asking them what's wrong.
I mean, you've seen those videos where parents like the dads would show up at their graduation or show up at their, whatever, and the kids start crying. Yeah.
Fucking, I
Yeah.
don't understand that. I don't understand that.
And the thing is like they show that video of that kid. Oh, hey, I showed up at their graduation, and the kid's crying because they showed up.
Yeah.
But where were they the rest of the time? You know what I mean? So it's like it gets people sad.
Yeah.
You want to be sad for them, like, oh, that's such a good dad. Don't get me wrong, not all those videos are like that because they might have been at work or whatever.
Of course.
They might have been not, whatever. But there are times where he's not around. Oh, hey, my daughter's graduating. I have to be there for that.
Yep.
But the rest of the time, it's like you said, you only see what you see on camera.
Yep.
So, yeah, just be there, man.
Be there. Hey, man, brother. I love it. That's a beautiful piece of advice and a great way to end the episode. TJ, you are the man, brother. I want to thank you so much for coming on here. Being my first guest. This is so huge for me.
I appreciate it. Maybe it won't be the last. Who knows?
No, heck yeah, dude. Come back on here again. I feel like we got so much to talk about. There's so much on the sheet that we did not go through, but we'll be here all night, which I'd be okay with. All right, man. Well, I appreciate it, brother, and we'll talk to you again soon.
All right, thank you.
And that was my interview with TJ. Thank you, TJ, for coming on, man. I really appreciate it, bro. You know, we have been waiting to do this for so long. I've had people reach out to me, and I've been kind of holding them off until I had you come on here. I wanted you to be my first guest, and thank you so much for blessing me and coming on here and sharing your expertise, your experiences with you and Kylee, man. That meant the world to me. Thank you so much. And that was it, guys. That is episode 5 of Once Upon a Dad podcast. So please feel free to follow, like, share, and subscribe the Once Upon a Dad podcast on YouTube. It will be posted on other platforms. I am still in the process of working on that. Working a full-time job and doing this is no joke, but I will get that out there. Also follow TJ on, you can find them on TikTok, TJ and Kylee. Such great people, man. As you can see, we had a great conversation. They post great, wonderful, uplifting, positive content. So go check them out. And if you guys have any ideas of people who you want to have on the podcast, people who you want to hear their story, or if you want to be a guest on the podcast, please hit me up. You can comment under this video wherever you're watching it. You can follow me on YouTube, send me a message on any of my social media platforms, or you can email me at onceuponadadpodcast@gmail.com. That is ONCEUPONADAD podcast, PODCAST at gmail.com. Damn, I can't believe I got through that whole thing without messing it up. But all right, y'all. Take care. I love y'all. Have a good week.